Tips for round 4 coming up now on the outer. Here we are back on Thursday. How was your Wednesday, fellas?
Yeah, good.
Excellent. Couldn't
I've still
complain.
I've still got my dogs in the background from Tuesday, Tom.
Yeah, right.
So apologies again.
That's all right.
That.
That's all right. And Lemons, you're back again. You got the leaderboard. It's getting pretty ugly for you guys, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Well, as you say, you've taken your lead and you've run with it and you've pushed it out even further this week with an expert display. 7 correct for you, Tom, putting you on 20 correct tips for the year.
Okay.
Whereas Gus and I both with an abysmal 6, one behind you. Which keeps us tied on 14 for equal second place. So both of us, I guess, are wearing the hat today, Gussie. Sorry. So I've got
I've just got my same hat because I'm not really a hat guy.
Yeah, I have a lot of stupid hats in my house. This one says "Kiss me quick" on the top, so kiss me quick if you're nearby. If not, kiss me next time you see me.
Well, we need to get through this quick because this really makes my head hot. So let's get into
All right,
it.
let's get into it. Thursday night footy again this week. I'm loving Thursday night footy. I don't know about you guys, but they should have it every week. And Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. This would have been a very, very attractive fixture at the beginning of the year. Less so now. Port Adelaide desperately needing a win, but I can't see them beating the D's, who I think will probably play with Port for 3 quarters and then steamroll them with 7 or 8 goals in the last.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm tipping Melbourne. I don't really have much to say any different about that.
This one I really, really want to tip Port because I feel like it's like the upset that's brewing and ready to go. But as I've already alluded to on past shows, I am a coward, so I will be tipping the Melbourne Demons to also win this one. So the 3 of us will go for the D's this week.
Fair enough. Cats Brisbane on Friday night. Pretty good game. This one, I think. I think Geelong's being sort of shown up a bit. Like, they played really well against Collingwood. But I think they probably are just lacking the quality that Brisbane do have. So I'm going to tip the Lions.
This one, GMHBA. So normally we'd go Geelong at this one. Remember what happened last year with that crazy Jeremy Cameron getting... No, what was it? Zach Bailey
Zach Bailey
subs in the goal. Yeah, that's
not
right.
getting the...
Yeah. It's a tough one. I think Brisbane's midfield... I actually don't think Geelong's midfield is that great, to be honest.
No.
So I'm going to go with Brisbane just purely on that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brisbane as well. I think they've been a better...
That's just because you hate the Cats.
Yeah, I mean... I've got a soft spot for Geelong because coming from Geelong, but even with the home ground advantage, I think the Lions are just like a class above Geelong, and I think that'll probably come out on the weekend. So, yeah, Lions for me as well.
3 for Lions, all right. I think that one might be close. Sydney versus North Melbourne at the SCG. We didn't really get time to touch on North Melbourne on the main body of the podcast on Tuesday, but pretty disappointing
They
game
are a
against
disaster.
Brisbane. They're not doing well. Sydney, did all right against the Bulldogs. I think they're still thereabouts, and I think they should win this pretty comfortably.
Yep, Sydney by a mile. Sydney by an absolute country mile. They are going to smash North Melbourne on the weekend. Confident.
Yeah, there's going to be more pain inflicted on North, I think, unfortunately, and they will win fairly comfortably. Collingwood versus West Coast. As we sort of mentioned on our regular show, Tom, West Coast could be getting a host of stars back. We haven't seen the teams yet on this Thursday evening, but they should be getting a lot of players back. I think it is over in Melbourne. Oh, geez. I think I'm going to tip West Coast in this one.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, well, I've just given my tip away. I'm going with Collingwood.
Yeah, I think we got it.
I do not think West Coast have I don't think West Coast could beat them. But I'll be impressed if you're right there, Gussie. I think Collingwood are too good for them, especially in Melbourne.
Yeah. I don't know. I think West Coast. Like, Collingwood, how good can they be forever?
Collingwood aren't that good. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Well, they keep, and if they win this game, then they've won 3 from 4.
4 from 3 would be impressive.
It's so hard to tip these West Coast games because you just have no idea who's going to be running out in the field. But I'm going to tip West Coast. I think that there's, like you said, Gus, all those days ago, the spirit of the team seems to be a lot better than it was last year when they actually had a decent list. So yeah, I think West Coast.
All right. My head's getting hot, so let's keep going.
All right, keep moving. Richmond Bulldogs, Saturday night MCG. Look, I think as we discussed, the midfield at Richmond is shallow, although this is the basis for tipping them to lose to the Giants, and they won that. But the Bulldogs will be too strong around the footy, and I think it'll be relatively even in the back line, the forward line, but the Bulldogs should get, I reckon, they might be looking at 70 plus forward 50 entries this week, you cannot lose a game of footy if you have that.
Yeah, no Dylan Grimes as well, so
that hurts.
That really hurts with that amount of entries. So yeah, I'm going to tip the Dogs as well.
Yep. Last week, Tom, you led me astray, tipping the Tigers to beat the Saints. I was a fool. I knew I should have gone with the Saints. And anyway, long story short, I am tipping the Doggies this week as well.
The other Saturday game, Freo versus GWS. It's at Perth as well. I think this is the toughest one to pick just because of that home ground advantage and because we really have no idea what GWS are like. I think I'm going to tip Freo. I think they're just going to be able to beat the Giants at home. And yeah, the Giants are just fickle. They're not as mentally strong as I think they need to be. So Freo for me.
I think I'm going to go with the Giants, and this is based on the fact that, West Coast have been absolutely ripped apart by COVID protocols, and I think maybe it's Freo's turn. They haven't had that many yet, so they could be looking
last week too.
Did I? I don't know. Yeah. Although I did just see Sean Darcy's back, which is pretty big because Bruce, he was pretty good last week. But I'm going to stick with GWS.
Yep, I'm going to go with GWS as well. I think I'm going to tip against every Perth team every time they play against any non-Perth team for the rest of the season. So yeah, GWS for the win on Saturday night. Sunday, the first game, 1:10 our time. It is the Mighty Bombers versus the Adelaide Crows. That's at Marvel Stadium. Oh, I'm tipping the Bombers. I'm absolutely tipping the Bombers, and if they don't win this round, I might have to revoke my support for the team in general. I did see Tipper had a good game in the twos this week, kicked a couple of goals. So it's looking like he might be back in the squad this week. And yeah, if we can't beat Adelaide in Melbourne, I don't know what we're doing. So yeah, the Bombers, but also it's like there's an ultimatum attached to it.
Waller's still a couple of weeks away, I would say, just because his match fitness, but it is very encouraging that he's playing at all. So, as you say, Lemons, if they don't beat Adelaide in Melbourne, then we're in for a real bad year, I think. So I'm tipping Essendon as well, with bated breath attached.
Yeah. Essendon for me as well. Interesting to see what happens this week with Tex Walker as well, because he's fit to play, or free to play and fit to play. Adelaide forward line was good last week. Gallant and Himmelberg, 8 goals between them, and I don't know if I'd be rushing him in. Hawthorn versus St Kilda at the MCG. This is shaping up to be a pretty good one. Both teams in good nick.
This is the other hard one, I reckon.
Yeah. Both teams play the MCG pretty well. I think I'm leaning towards the Saints. I just think that, I don't know. I just seen something in the last couple of weeks that there's a few players, and we mentioned some of them on the main episode, that seem to be up and running a little bit better than maybe what we thought they'd be this year. And I think that Hawthorn, whilst I do think they're an impressive side so far, I think Saints might get them here.
Saints for me, I think the Hawthorn mini collapse might be on the way. So, yeah, St Kilda for me.
I am going to go Hawks again. Like last week, I
Hey.
tipped them against the two of you, and 1 point almost got it. So I'm riding that Hawthorn bandwagon another week. Hopefully they can continue performing out of their skins and, beat St Kilda there at the MCG.
Last game of the round, Gold Coast versus Carlton. I tipped the Suns against the Giants. I don't really want to pick either of these teams. Can I just abstain?
You can tip a draw.
Yeah, you can tip a draw.
I don't want to do that either. I guess I'll tip Carlton, even though I really don't want Carlton to be 4-0 because it'd be annoying. But I think the Blues do look really good. Their tall forward line, Curnow and Mackay, look awesome. Their midfield is finally batting deep enough that you're really confident. They're defending pretty well. I think they're a pretty good side, to be honest. So Carlton for me.
Yeah, Suns, unfortunately, some late goals from my man Marbior last week kind of made it look a bit more respectable, but they were pretty bad. And Carlton are playing some pretty good footy now, so I think that they'll make short work of the Suns and win by 5+ goals.
Yeah, I think the Blues are going to be 4-0, which is pretty wild. I'm sure there's some
Devastating.
very, very happy Carlton supporters out there. Some very, very unhappy every other type of supporter out there. But yeah,
I've already had messages saying that George Hewitt is better than Zach Merritt. And somebody else as well. Matthew Kennedy maybe is better than Devon Smith. I don't know. I can't.
Look,
which is
it's-
true.
Well, that's
at the
true.
moment.
Yeah.
This is great. I
Yeah.
hope Carlton go 4-0. So when they collapse and still miss the 8 at the end of the year, it'll be even more devastating for their fan base.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
All
yeah,
right.
I'm tipping Blues this week, but time is running out on that Carlton squad, I reckon.
good stuff, guys. All right, well, that's the 9 games for round 4. Can you believe it? Already there. Well,
Exciting.
tonight, round 4 begins.
It does.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week with our regular programming, and then we'll return with our tips. Lemons will return with our tips show next Thursday. Catch you later.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.